My wife tried to steal my car and run away with her lover, but I found a way to make her regret it. I always thought my marriage wasn't perfect, but at least it was solid. Emily and I had been together for 7 years. We had our ups and downs, but we made it work, or so I believed. Maybe I was just blind. Maybe I didn't want to see the signs that had been there all along. The morning everything fell apart started like any other. I woke up, stretched, and reached for Emily's side of the bed, only to find it empty. That wasn't unusual. She often got up earlier than me, but something felt off. The air was too still. No coffee brewing in the kitchen, no sound of the shower running. A strange feeling crept into my stomach. I grabbed my phone and checked the time. 7:48 a.m. I frowned and got out of bed, rubbing my face. As I walked toward the window, I noticed something odd. The driveway was empty. My car was gone. A sharp jolt ran through me. Emily didn't drive my car. She had her own. I rushed downstairs, my heart thudding in my chest, and checked the garage. Her car was still there. That's when I saw it. A small note on the kitchen counter, written in her rushed, almost careless handwriting. "Don't come looking for me. It's over." For a moment, I just stood there, staring at the words, my brain refusing to process them. What the hell? My hands clenched the paper so tightly it crumpled. Over? Just like that? No argument, no discussion, no warning? A cold sweat broke out on my back. I grabbed my phone and called her. Straight to voicemail. I tried again. Same result. I texted her. No response. I took a deep breath, trying to calm myself down. Maybe this was some kind of cruel joke. Maybe she just needed space. But then another thought hit me. If she left, where did she go? And why take my car? I walked back to the living room, sat down, and tried to think rationally. Then, almost on instinct, I opened my laptop and logged into my car's tracking system. The moment the map loaded, my stomach dropped. The car was parked in a hotel parking lot across town. My hands started shaking, not from fear, but from pure burning rage. I clicked on the address, and it didn't take long to put the pieces together. A fancy hotel. Not the kind of place you run to when you need space. No. This was something else. This was premeditated. And then, like a final slap in the face, I remembered something. Ryan. Ryan was a guy Emily had met through work. I never liked him. Too smooth, too friendly. He was always around, always laughing at her jokes, always finding excuses to touch her arm or whisper something in her ear. When I brought it up to Emily, she rolled her eyes and said I was being paranoid. But now I knew. I clenched my fists and forced myself to breathe. The betrayal cut deep, but I wasn't going to break down. I wasn't going to chase after her, begging for answers. If she thought she could steal my car, run off with her lover, and leave me in the dust, she had no idea what was coming. I was going to make sure she regretted every second of it. I sat there for a long time, staring at the blinking dot on the screen, the GPS location of my stolen car. It was still in that hotel parking lot, untouched. My mind raced with emotions, anger, betrayal, frustration. But beneath it all, a cold, calculating part of me started taking control. Emily thought she could just take what she wanted and leave me in the dirt. She thought I'd be too broken to do anything about it. But she had underestimated me. I wasn't the type to sit around and cry. I was the type to get even. I needed to be smart about this. Acting out of pure anger would only make things worse. I had to think ahead, plan every move. First, I took care of the immediate damage. I went to my banking app and checked our joint accounts. Sure enough, she had already withdrawn a hefty sum, enough to live comfortably for a while. I wasn't about to let that continue. I quickly transferred the remaining money into a separate account under my name. Then, I called my bank and had the joint account frozen. She had already taken her cut, but she wasn't getting another cent from me. Next, I pulled up my car's security features. One of the best things about modern cars is the remote access system. I could see the car's exact location, its fuel level, and even disable the engine if I wanted to. A cruel smile crossed my lips as I thought about my options. Should I shut the car down right now? No. That would be too obvious. She'd realize I was onto her, and she'd run again. No, I needed her to feel safe. I needed her to think she had one. I checked the GPS history. The car had been at the hotel for nearly 10 hours. They'd probably checked in last night. If I had to guess, she and Ryan were enjoying their little getaway, spending my money, laughing at how easy it was to screw me over. Let them have their fun. It wouldn't last long. I decided to pay a visit to an old friend, Mike, my lawyer. Mike was a no-nonsense guy, the kind of attorney you called when you needed things done fast and efficiently. I explained the situation, and he gave me a knowing look. She took the car? Emptied the account? Sounds like financial misconduct to me, he said, tapping his pen against his desk. If you play this right, you could make sure she walks away with nothing. That was exactly what I wanted to hear. We went over my options, and by the time I left his office, I had a clear plan. First, I filed a report for unauthorized vehicle use. Since the car was registered in my name, I had every right to reclaim it. If the police got involved, Emily would have to explain why she was driving a vehicle she didn't own. Next, I filed for divorce. Mike made sure it was worded in a way that protected my assets, and given that she had committed financial fraud, I had a good chance of walking away without losing anything. Now, all I had to do was wait. But I wasn't done yet. That night, I drove to the hotel. I didn't go inside. I didn't need to. I parked across the street, just far enough to watch. After about an hour, I saw them. Emily and Ryan walked out of the hotel, laughing, arms wrapped around each other. She looked happy, carefree, like she hadn't just destroyed our marriage, like she hadn't just stabbed me in the back and twisted the knife. Rage burned in my chest, but I forced myself to stay calm. This was good. This was proof. I snapped a few photos, just enough to document what was happening. Then, I took out my phone and, with a single tap, disabled the car. They reached the parking lot, and I watched as Emily pulled out the key fob and tried to unlock the car. Nothing happened. She frowned and tried again. Still nothing. Ryan said something to her, and she looked annoyed. I could tell she was getting frustrated. She pulled out her phone, probably trying to call me. A few seconds later, my phone buzzed. I let it ring. Then I got a text. Emily, what the hell? Why isn't the car working? I smiled and typed back. Me, oh you mean my car? The one you stole? 3 dots appeared as she started typing, then stopped. Then started again. Finally, the message came through. Emily, James, don't do this. I just needed some time to figure things out. Please unlock the car. I shook my head. She really thought she could just talk her way out of this? Me, I already reported it stolen. You might want to call a cab before the cops show up. I imagined the look on her face when she read that, and it gave me more satisfaction than I expected. I watched as she and Ryan argued. He looked pissed. Probably didn't expect his romantic getaway to turn into a disaster. Good. Eventually, they gave up and walked off, leaving the car behind. I waited another 10 minutes before calling a tow truck and having the car picked up. It would be sitting safely in my garage by morning. Emily had stolen from me. She had lied to me. She had betrayed me. And now? Now, She was about to learn what it felt like to lose. The next morning, I woke up feeling something I hadn't felt in a while: control. My car was back in my garage. My finances were locked down, and Emily was out there, stranded and fuming. I checked my phone. 15 missed calls from her. A few from unknown numbers, probably Ryan. And, of course, several texts, ranging from desperate to furious. Emily, James, we need to talk. Please don't do this. Emily, what the hell did you do to the car? Emily, you reported it stolen? Are you crazy? Emily, this isn't funny. I swear if you don't fix this. And my personal favorite. Emily, Ryan is really pissed off. You're ruining my life. I actually laughed at that one. Oh, sweetheart, I'm just getting started. I ignored the messages and got on with my day. I had work to do. Real work, unlike whatever scam of a life Emily and Ryan were trying to build. But I wasn't done with them yet. While I was at my office, I got a call from my lawyer, Mike. You're gonna love this, he said. Your wife called my office, completely panicked. I leaned back in my chair. Oh, yeah. What did she say? She's realized she's got no access to your money, no car, and get this, Ryan's not exactly thrilled about it. Mike chuckled. Sounds like lover boy isn't interested in a broke woman with no transportation. I smirked. I figured Ryan had been in it for the excitement, the thrill of sneaking around. But now that Emily wasn't a free ride, his patience would run out fast. She also found out about the divorce filing, Mike continued. She's trying to fight it, but let's be honest, she doesn't have a leg to stand on. With the financial misconduct and the fact that she literally stole your car, you've got the upper hand. Good, I said. Let her stew in it for a while. And stew she did. Over the next few days, I saw her trying to reach me from every possible number. When I blocked her, she tried using friends. When that didn't work, she even showed up at my house. I didn't let her in. I watched through the peephole as she stood outside, looking like a mess. Hair unbrushed, dark circles under her eyes. Nothing like the confident, carefree woman who had walked out of my life with a smirk just a few days ago. She pounded on the door. James! Come on! Just talk to me! I let her yell for a while before finally opening it. I didn't say anything, just leaned against the doorframe and waited. Her expression shifted, anger, then desperation. You're being petty, she said. I was confused. I just needed space. Space? I raised an eyebrow. That's what you call running off with another man and stealing my car? She winced. I made a mistake, okay? But you didn't have to do all this. You could have just talked to me instead of whatever this is. I crossed my arms. You didn't want to talk when you walked out. You didn't even have the decency to end things face to face. And now, suddenly, I owe you a conversation. She huffed. Ryan's gone, okay? He left. Said he didn't want the drama. I pretended to be shocked. Wow. Who could have seen that coming? Her face twisted in frustration. Stop acting like you're innocent in all this. You were never there for me, James. You were always busy with work, always distracted. Ryan made me feel wanted. I laughed. And now he doesn't. Guess that didn't work out too well for you, huh? Tears welled in her eyes, but I didn't feel sympathy. Not anymore. Look, she whispered. I know I messed up. But can we at least try to fix things? I tilted my head. Let me get this straight. You cheated, stole from me, ran away, and now that your little fantasy life blew up in your face, now you want to come back? She looked away. I still love you. I smiled coldly. I don't. Her breath hitched. She opened her mouth like she wanted to argue, but I didn't give her the chance. I stepped back inside and closed the door. I heard her sob once before she walked away. I didn't look back, because for the first time in a long time, I was finally free. After I shut the door on Emily, I expected to feel something, maybe guilt, maybe sadness. But all I felt was relief, like a weight had finally been lifted from my shoulders. The house was quiet, but not the kind of silence that suffocates. This was peaceful, freeing. For the next few days, I focused on getting my life back on track. I went back to work, reconnected with friends I hadn't seen in months, and finally started living for myself instead of constantly trying to keep a broken marriage afloat. Emily tried reaching out a few more times. Calls, texts, even emails. I ignored them all. She was officially someone else's problem now. Or so I thought. One evening, I got a call from an unknown number. Normally, I would have let it go to voicemail, but something told me to pick up. Hello? James. The voice on the other end was familiar. Too familiar. Ryan. I almost laughed. Didn't expect to hear from you. What? Emily run out of money again? He exhaled sharply. Listen, man. I don't want to fight. I just need to talk to you. You've got about 30 seconds before I hang up. There was a pause. Then he muttered, Emily's pregnant. The words hit me like a punch to the gut. For a moment, I didn't say anything. My mind raced, trying to process what he had just said. You sure it's yours? I finally asked. I don't know, Ryan admitted. She says it is, but... He sighed. I don't trust her. She's been acting weird, and I just needed to know if she tried to pull anything on you too. I let out a bitter chuckle. You mean, did she cheat on me like she cheated on you? Ryan didn't answer. I shook my head. Let me make something clear. I don't give a damn about Emily or whatever mess she's dragged you into. That's your problem now. I moved on. Yeah, Ryan muttered. I figured. Good luck, Ryan, I said, and before he could respond, I hung up. I sat there for a moment, staring at the phone. Pregnant. I didn't know if it was true, and frankly, I didn't care. Even if there was a tiny, microscopic chance that the baby was mine, it didn't change anything. Emily had made her choices. So had I. The next day, I called my lawyer. Hey, Mike, I said. Let's make sure this divorce goes through as fast as possible. I want nothing tying me to her ever again. He chuckled. Already ahead of you, buddy. The next few weeks passed in a blur. My divorce was finalized, and just like that, Emily was out of my life for good. I never spoke to her again. She tried to reach out a few more times, but I didn't bite. She even showed up at my office once, but security turned her away. Ryan, on the other hand, wasn't so lucky. A few months later, I heard through the grapevine that he and Emily had a spectacular falling out. Turns out, the baby wasn't his after all. And when the truth came out, Ryan did exactly what I expected. He bailed. Emily was left with nothing. No money. No man. No future. And me? I was finally happy. Months passed, and life finally settled into something that felt normal again. No more sudden phone calls, no more unwanted messages, and no more shadows of a failed marriage hanging over my head. I wasn't just moving on, I was thriving. After everything that happened, I took a long, hard look at my life. For years, I had let my marriage dictate my happiness, sacrificing time, energy, and sanity for someone who never truly appreciated it. Now, with Emily out of the picture, I had the freedom to focus on myself. And damn, it felt good. I started hitting the gym again, picked up hobbies I had abandoned, and even started dating. Nothing serious at first, just casual outings, lighthearted conversations, and a reminder that the world was full of people who weren't manipulative, cheating liars. Emily, on the other hand, wasn't doing so well. Every once in a while, I'd hear about her through mutual acquaintances. After Ryan ditched her, she had spiraled. The money she had stolen from our joint account was long gone, wasted on hotels, dinners, and a fantasy life that had crashed and burned. She had no car, no job, and no one left to bail her out. And then, one day, she came back. Not physically. No, she knew better than to show up at my house again, but through a message. I almost didn't read it. I had ignored every attempt she made to contact me before, but something about seeing her name pop up on my screen again made me curious. So, against my better judgment, I opened it. Emily, James, please don't delete this. Just hear me out. I hesitated, then kept reading. Emily, I know I don't deserve it. I know I hurt you, and I can't take that back. But I need you to know that I'm sorry. For everything. I leaned back in my chair, expression unreadable. Emily, I thought I knew what I wanted, but I was wrong. I was selfish. I ruined the best thing I ever had. And now I have nothing. I lost you, I lost Ryan, I lost everything. I don't expect you to forgive me. I just wanted you to know that I regret it. Every single day. I stared at the message for a long time. Part of me wondered if she truly meant it, or if this was just another attempt to worm her way back into my life. Either way, it didn't matter. I wasn't interested. So, I typed out a response. Me, I don't hate you, Emily. I just don't care anymore. Then, I blocked her number. That was the last time I ever heard from her. Maybe she really did regret everything. Maybe she just missed the stability, the security, the comfort of being with someone who actually cared about her. But whatever the reason, it didn't change a thing. Because for the first time in a long time, I was happy. Truly happy. And no matter how much she regretted it, she would never get another chance to ruin my life again.